I'm now going to introduce our three students today. So we have Esther, Chris and Christine. So these are our students today. So what I'm going to be doing for the format of this session is I'm going to be asking them some questions which they're going to answer. If you have any questions that are linked to the questions I'm asking, feel free to type them in the box and I will ask the students those as well. So without further ado, if we start with you, Chris, could you please tell us a bit about yourself? What's your name? Well, you don't need to tell us your name. What are you currently studying and what year are you in?
So I'm currently in the first year, business management. My name's Chris.
Perfect, thank you. And Christine?
So I'm an occupational therapy student. I'm in my final year.
And Esther's just joined us. So Esther, if you could tell us a bit about yourself, what you're currently studying and what year you're in.
My name is Esther and I'm currently studying pharmacy.
Perfect. Okay, so to start with you then, Chris, can you tell us a bit about how you got to where you are now before your degree and where did you do them?
So I did them at Sharnbrook Academy, which is in Bedfordshire, and I studied BTEC Business, IT Practitioner and A-level Sociology for 2 years and then somehow managed to get in.
Perfect. So you did a mix of qualifications between A-levels and BTECs?
Yeah.
And how did you find doing a mix of qualifications and then coming to university?
I liked it because you have two different sides. You have the more traditional A-level side, which was one of them, which was just exams. And then you had a bit of BTEC, which was basically a lot of coursework, my own independent work, which I was more comfortable with. So it allowed me to do a lot of that, a lot of group work. So actually helped me out a lot with what basically I was doing at uni as well.
So you've got two sides of the coin there with being able to merge those skills together.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. And Christine, same to you. Tell us about how you got to university, what you did before attending.
Yeah, so I did A-levels. So when I finished my GCSEs, I went on to do A-levels. And then after that, I decided to do a BTEC course. So I did my BTEC in music technology because I didn't get the opportunity to do music at A-level. My school didn't offer it. So I decided to do it at A-level after I'd completed my A-levels. And then after I did my BTEC, so I study occupational therapy now. It doesn't necessarily link to studying music. However, I worked after I did my BTEC. So I worked as a healthcare assistant, and that's how I found my way into occupational therapy. But yeah, so it's been a bit of an untraditional journey.
Yeah, absolutely. But with that untraditional journey and doing a A-level qualification and then going to a BTEC music qualification, you still achieved your ultimate goal of going to do a subject that's very different from your level 3 qualification. So there are routes in from that. If you did, for example, a BTEC in a subject and you wanted to go study a degree in something completely different, you can go down that route.
Yeah.
Excellent. And Esther, can you tell us about your route to university as well?
Basically, because I finished my secondary school in Nigeria, so when I came here, I had to start sixth form. And because after my grade was interpreted from the normal Nigerian qualification to the GCSE one, it was low. I was given a choice to either do BTEC or receipt my year 11. And in Nigeria, we normally spend 6 years in secondary school. So doing one more year of year 11 would be spending 7 years in secondary school. And I didn't want to do that. I would sort of like to progress to the next stage. So I just decided to do BTEC. After researching that, I've got a lot of degree options in uni. I was quite happy with that. So I decided to choose BTEC instead. And it was really fun. I liked it because I sort of found out that I prefer doing more classwork than actually exams. So it sort of helped me build my independent learning. I had to study to sort of do my coursework. So that sort of gives me that I started enjoying learning things on my own as well, instead of just relying on textbooks and all of that. So yeah.
Yeah, perfect. So you went and you've gone on to study pharmacy, is that right, from your applied science BTEC?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Basically, I had to do a foundation year to. I didn't have to do it. I could have just done a chemistry exam to get into the first year pharmacy, but I found that I wasn't quite confident about me starting first year, so I decided to just do. So I wasn't feeling all right when the time for the exam came, so I couldn't do my exam anyway. So I decided to go through foundation year. So that sort of built my confidence up as well. I sort of had a taste of uni without actually having to start uni. So that actually helped me when I started my first year because it was so much easier compared to like all my other classmates. They were just coming from secondary school, but I've had a year to spend in uni. So I found the foundation ready and everything went smoothly from there.
Perfect. So just to give a bit of context to you, a foundation year takes your usual 3-year course and makes it a 4-year course, and it's a transition year. And after that transition year, you complete your 3-year studies on the undergraduate, the same as everybody else. So it gives you a bit of extra time to learn university skills, to adapt to the different way of learning, the different skill sets, the different knowledge you'll need as well. And as Esther said, it made her feel a lot more comfortable with going on to the undergraduate degree as well. And most people really like having an extra year at university because they love university. So it's always a bonus with that to extend that experience as well. Perfect. So back to you again, Chris. Why did you choose university as a route as opposed to the other routes like going straight into employment or apprenticeship?
Oh, it's like that's like one aspect for me, like just going out, having fun with flatmates and everything, which was really fun. But then I was like, Mir's more traditional route, and there's like for what I'm doing in terms of business, what jobs I could get, I'd have to get a qualification. So like just a standard bachelor's. So I'll probably have to go to uni. Although at one point I was looking at apprenticeships because I was just unsure of the end. But then I got accepted, so I was like, oh, maybe I'll go to uni because I know that, like the whole life of being independent and everything will actually help. I mean, in the future, because it not only helps you with education, it helps you with being independent, all that stuff, learning how to cook and everything. So I found that was like some of the main aspects of going uni.
So you've got the employability within it, the social life within it. And as Chris has said, you can also apply to do university, apprenticeships, and also employment at the same time. So you can then choose out of those 3 options. If you get accepted to an apprenticeship, a job, and a university as well, you can then choose whatever option's best for you because you all apply through separate systems. So I really recommend that if you're undecided whilst you're applying for university, you can also apply for the other ones as well and get that informed choice to decide which route is best for you. And the same question to you, Christine. So why university?
Well, for occupational therapy, in order to qualify as an occupational therapist, you had to study a degree. I think when I applied, there wasn't an apprenticeship degree. It only just got introduced recently. So at UEA, there was only the full-time option for me to do 3 years. So yes, that's why I took full.
Yeah, so for some...
my camera...
That's all right, we can still hear you. So for some healthcare degrees, for some public services degrees, so people going into the public sector, so health, policing, those sort of things, degrees are a requirement. So it is well worth having a think about what job you might want to go into if it is a requirement. And as Christine says, there are things called degree apprenticeships as well. And degree apprenticeships are partly doing an apprenticeship, partly doing your degree. So you'd be paid to do the degree as well. But it is worth noting that only a couple of universities are offering these at the moment, but UCAS has a really good guide to degree apprenticeship. So if you're interested in that route, do type in UCAS, UCAS, and then degree apprenticeships as well. And finally, with yourself, Esther, why university and not the other routes?
Because pharmacy is sort of a professional job. A uni degree, a 4-year university degree to register as a pharmacist with a GPHC. So hence why I had to go to uni.
Yeah. So similarly, you need to have the degree accreditation to be able to go on to be a pharmacist and achieve that employment goal as well. Lovely. So a more fun question than the technicals with that. What is your favourite thing about university, Chris?
Going out and chilling with my flatmates. That's pretty much it.
And what do you do with your free time? Tell us a bit about the nightlife at university.
Well, usually I'll not a lot of hanging out in the kitchen or just in each other's rooms, just talking for like hours, having like the weirdest stories and everything. That's been really fun. And then like not remembering half the nights as well. So there's that.
Sort of catching up about it in the morning.
Yeah.
You do spend a lot more time with people at university if you're living with them, and seeing people in classes, clubs and societies, lots of different routes as well. So there's lots of different ways to make friends. Certainly for me, when I was at high school, I had the same group of friends in different pools in my course, in my accommodation as well, which is the same for a lot of people. And to you, Christine, what is your favourite thing about university?
I like a lot about university, but I guess my favourite thing is similar to Chris, just meeting new people and also meeting kind of like-minded people, especially for the course I do, aiming to be occupational therapists at the end of the 3 years. So it's just such a lovely way to meet new people, like-minded people, and also different people from different walks of life. Like people come from different pathways to university, so I think that's been really good. And within that, also joining like university societies and clubs, and just having that opportunity to explore your interests and learning new skills. I think university is a great place to get involved in that because there's just so much out there and it's all kind of in front of you. So yeah, that's been definitely my favorite bit of university.
Yeah, masses of opportunity that you just don't get really anywhere else. And what clubs and societies do you do?
So this year, obviously, because I'm third year, I've been on placement, so I haven't been as involved in societies, but I'm part of show choir, so I'm on committee, I'm music director of show choir, and it's just a really nice way to kind of take a break from studies and do something fun. So for me, obviously, I studied music at BTEC, so I'm still continuing my music passion within uni. So yeah, so I did choir. I also joined so academic societies. And what else did I join? I did ballroom dancing in my first year. Never did that before. So yeah, it's just been great to join a variety of
try lots of new things as well. And the same question to you, Esther, what is your favourite thing about university?
My favorite thing about uni would be the freedom, like the independence you get. Like literally, you're just on your own. And I was quite sort of apprehensive about moving out from home, but once you get there, and also linking it back to what you guys said about like making friends and connection. Like once you get there, you have the freedom, you have the friends, and everything just like, everything comes to life, and it becomes fun. So just knowing that you could go out at 3 a.m., you get food. Obviously, don't go out at 3 a.m. Just be careful and safe. And just having that responsibility as well. Because once you finish first year, you need to sort of sort out your own accommodation. And during that, I felt like I've actually matured dealing with bills. I didn't even know we have to pay water bills before leaving the house. Like now, I'm sort of becoming my brain, turning off the light in every. You don't have to use the heater if you don't have to. So yeah, so you sort of like grow up, mature financially and just mentally as well. So the freedom and the maturity of it.
Yeah, someone said to me the other day, it's a supported way of becoming an adult, which I think is a really nice summary of university, that you don't have to straight away get your own house and set up the internet, but in your second year you sort of work it out with other people as you go in to a house and learn that why your parents used to nag you about doing the washing up all the time, and if you let it build up, it really builds up. So really good life skills to sort of learn, but in a nice environment with other people that are going through the exact same thing with you as well. Probably my favourite thing about university. Lovely. So I'm going to go the other way around now. So I'll start with you, Esther. Esther, what is the transition like for university? Did you find it a very strange transition from BTEC to university study, or did you find it quite easy?
Well, before going to sixth form, normally I'm used to doing exams, but once I started like going, because I spent 2 years doing BTEC and not doing any exams. It was just coursework, and even if you've got exams, they're mostly open books. So once we get to uni, you have to sort of study for your exams and have to read and make sure you're prepared, basically. And before coming to uni, people were like, oh well, I don't know about other ones, but people tell me, oh, first year is fine, it's chilled out, it's like doing sixth form again. But I found that for me it wasn't like that, because there was new styles of teaching. There's new the presentation, there's the blackboard. We do not have the like blackboards for in sixth form. So I sort of need that and getting used to doing exams again. But one thing I like about UA is that the support is all there. The lecturers are there for you. There's the math help desk if you're having a problem with something. There's the SU, there's the society, has their own society as well. So all those all those student support that actually helped me translation, and it was quite easily. It wasn't straightforward, but was able to like mesh up together, and yeah, it wasn't straightforward.
I think what a lot of people say when it comes to BTEC is the reason they chose a BTEC is they prefer that coursework level of study. And there is quite often at university, depending on what course you do and where, there might be elements of essays and exams in different courses, but to help you adapt to that new way of learning, if you've been out of that for 2 years, as Esther said, there is masses of support at university. Our university has something called the Learning Enhancement Team, where you can book an appointment and they'll help you with maths, they'll help you with your first assignment. You've got tutors, you've got people in your department. As Esther said, people help each other as well. So if you've got a friend who is really, really good at assignments, they will help you out with writing your assignment. It's a very friendly and supportive environment. Same question to you, Christine. How did you find that new way of learning, considering you did A-levels and you did the BTEC route as well?
So before coming to university, obviously I was in employment for a couple of years. So I did BTEC and then I was in full-time employment. So I already knew that it would be slightly challenging to come from that to university. But because I knew it was going to be possibly a challenge, going from working to now doing coursework or doing academic writing, I kind of did as much preparation as I could. So that for me, that was just studying everything I knew about the course and knowing how I was going to be assessed and the course structure, and just kind of learning what is my learning style and things. So having that, you can do a lot of that sort of in your own time and things. And kind of similar to Esther, when you get to university, you just know that there's going to be a lot of support there. They kind of, when your first week, you'll get eased into your course and they'll let you know what kind of support is available. So yeah, I utilize that as much as I can, and I'm here now in third year, nearly graduating. So yeah, it was definitely a transition, but I knew it would be, so I kind of prepared as much as I could.
Perfect. And the same question to you, Chris. So how did you find the transition, considering you did a mix of A-levels and BTECs?
Not that different. For me personally, it wasn't that different, but I'm like unique and weird in that way, because with the BTEC and A-level, it was pretty much the same approach as I did, or how I would revise and everything, because for business management, it was a mix of exam and a mix of coursework for different ones. Also, and then the only difference was really like the learning styles, because I've never used Blackboard before, or haven't used stuff because you have to get in certain apps with business to help, because it's a social science. But other than that, it was alright, because I did IT before, so it was like, it wasn't really that much difficult for me personally, but I find it alright.
And that is a general theme, that if people have done A-levels and BTECs, they feel prepared for the coursework element and the exam element. And people that have done extended BTECs, they usually take more of the support, but the support is there to be able to adapt. And it's mainly having that awareness that there is a transition to independent learning and university learning. But BTEC learners tend to be really good at independent learning, because you have to do loads of that in a BTEC anyway, and adjusting to that. So when people say that A-level learners adapt better to university, I wouldn't necessarily say that's the case. Because there's different strengths about the different types of learner you are, and as long as you're aware of being that type of learner, you can find out where you need some help with and get that help at university as well. We've also recently, as a university, created something for people before they go to university to help them understand what lectures and seminars are, and what independent learning is like, what assignments are like, what this thing called Blackboard is. So Blackboard is the online learning environment where your assignments will be posted to. So my colleague will pop in the link in a moment to the Preparing for the University course, which is all online, and you can access now if you want to find out a bit more information about that as well. So sixth question then, and again I'll start with you, Esther. How did you write about your BTEC in your university application, your personal statement?
For me, where I did get some support from my teacher, and what we were mostly told, and we keep getting told, is that we should rather, instead of talking about our grades and how we're doing, we should talk about the relevant modules that sort of relate to whatever you're gonna do. So what I did was I went online and look at, because you could see for each year what modules you're gonna be taught in. And so what I did is I sort of went online and looked at them, and I relate them to whatever skills I've been able to develop from my from my BTEC modules, and talk about how those skills would help me helped me in preparing for my first year in uni. And also something I talk about is the fact that we do a lot of coursework, and as you said, to become a BTEC student, you've got to have you've got to study independently. So, and that's one of the skills that I actually need in uni. So I write about that as well. And we went on work experience as well, and I relate my skills that I gained from my work experience in my application as well. So there's a lot of transferable skills. Even though my work experience wasn't in pharmacist, I would not be directly working in a nursing home, but I did gain like people skills and all relevant skills that I know I would need as a pharmacist. So I wrote about all things like that as well. So what I would say is, for your application, talk more, I like itself as a qualification, but more about the skills that you've gained, and how you could and how those skills will help you in the university. So talk less about the fact that, oh, I had distinction last year, I had that, but more about like the relevant skills that you've gained from the course itself. And yeah, that would be true.
Yeah, absolutely. We've just done a recording of how to write about BTEC on your personal statement, which is on the UEA webinars page. So if you type on that, it is my voice again, so you'll have to listen to me if you want to watch that. But it sort of says exactly what you've just said, Esther, which is you don't need to talk about the actual course or the course structure or the grades that you've got, but talk about the transferable skills and knowledge that you've got from that BTEC. And you've got lots of advantages of doing a BTEC qualification, especially for the extended BTEC, when you've got things like placement, which a lot of A-level students don't have. So use that to your advantage, and talk about those units that you're doing, because they do quite often directly translate to modules. And if you look on university websites, they list those modules and talk about what you've already learned in those on that as well. Excellent advice, thank you. And Christine, same question to you.
It's very similar to Esther, actually. just thinking about the transferable skills, especially for me. I studied music, so it wasn't related to my degree, so I had to just pull from the transferable skills. So the coursework and presentation skills, independent study, group work. So really just pulling from that, and also just using examples. So it's not just about listing that like on your personal statement. It's about giving examples and sort of explaining how you got those, because I think anyone can kind of list it, but if you add something to it, it's a personal statement. So this is your say how you got those skills and what you learned from your experiences. That's what I did in my application.
Absolutely. And the adage I always use is, when we were at GCSE, we used point, evidence, explain for like English and those sort of things. And it's a really similar thing that you can do on your personal statement. We say ABC, which is the activity you're doing, the benefit of that, and then the link back to the course. So just remember your ABCs on your personal statement. And yeah, as Christine said, explain how it helped you. Don't just list your skills with that. And finally, with you, Chris?
Well, I'm just going to be echoing what Christine and Esther said, but basically what I did was not really talking about anything got to do with the grades, spin that off, and just basically talk about working with like a local council of mine, how I did like an online course that relates to the topic I'm learning, how basically whatever you did in your subjects, how it relates to what you want to study in, like what skills you get basically from that.
Yeah, perfect. And once again, on that UEA webinars page, where it says about writing about BTEC in your personal statement, there's loads of links on there to what Chris just said. It's called super curricular activities. So those are things like looking for online courses that are related to the degree you want to study. And you can be doing those now on things like Future Learn, watching things called TED Talks, and you can talk about those in your personal statement as they're talking about things that are happening in the world right now, things that are related to coronavirus and business and all sorts of things as well. So you talk about those on a personal statement, it's really beneficial for that. So the final question, and then we'll take questions from you as well if you have any. Esther, we'll start with you again. If you could tell your younger self, so perhaps the people that are listening today that are in year 12 or sort of year 1 of their BTEC, what advice would you give yourself when you're at that stage?
I think my advice would be, obviously you can plan, like plans definitely do change, so be prepared for that. Nothing in life is like so straightforward, like there's roller coasters and all that. Because when I couldn't do A levels, I was sort of sad, and I was upset as well because I sort of had a vision of the way I want things to go, and when it didn't go that way, I was really sad because I was crying, and my parent was really like, it's all fine, like because plans do change, and I think the main reason why I was sad is because back in I don't know if this is still happening, but back in the days that BTEC students are mostly seen like less intelligent. Like if you do BTEC, that means you're not like as brilliant as someone that's doing A levels. And what I would say is that right now, majority of the students in my class is A level students, and I'm still here. I'm gonna start my 3rd year. Even though I did BTEC, I was able to transition with people that actually do BTEC. So the roof is not actually what matters. As long as you're motivated, as long as you're hardworking and you're ready to prove people wrong. Obviously, do plan. What I'm saying is like, do not like be fixated on your plan. Like changes happens, and that's just life. And just work hard and be determined and don't stress. Everything would work out the way they're meant to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And you learn to be able to be adaptable as well with that. And I echo what Esther said there about that there is sometimes a stigma around doing a BTEC, and people say you're less academic. Most people do BTECs because they're more practical as learners, but more and more people are going from the BTEC route into university, and some courses people doing a BTEC are the majority as well, so you're not a minority, especially on practical based courses. And the great thing about university is after the first couple of weeks where someone might ask you what qualification you've done, no one ever asks again. It doesn't matter what route you got there, you still got the exact same place as someone that went through an alternative route, and you did the route that was best for you and adapted to your way of learning, which means you got the good grades to be able to go to that university. So don't stress about the route that made you get there, but also be proud of your BTEC, because BTECs are not a walk in the park. You need very specific skills to do them. And the reason they're accepted into university because they are seen as the same as A levels in terms of how difficult they are and the equivalency with that. And same question to you with Christine. So what would you tell your younger self?
I would probably tell my younger self so I think when you're at college or school, I think you tend to focus on what you're not good at, and that you need to improve on this. But I think it's equally important to focus on what you are good at. So it's not just about looking at weaknesses, but looking at your strengths. So I would probably tell my younger self to not be so self-critical or to be down on myself because I'm not good at this and this and this. I think it's really important to acknowledge what you are good at, and I think that really boosts your confidence, and to have good self-awareness, especially now I'm in my 3rd year, I'm nearly qualified, and it's as an occupational therapist we have to have reflective skills on our practice. So I think it's really important, to not be so hard on yourself, because no one is perfect. So I would tell my younger self to not be so hard on yourself, and also to ask for help. I think university, there's so much help out there, but I also think when you're at college there's help, so I think not being afraid to ask for help, because for me, I think I'm very independent, and a lot of BTEC learners are very independent in their study and things, and I just like to figure things out, but I think there's no shame in asking for help and being accepting of that. So yeah, that's what I would tell myself: ask for help and to focus on what I'm good at more.
I think that's some advice that I can still take to this day. So
yeah, I'm still learning that.
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
And I'm nearly finished. I'm nearly qualified, so I'm still learning. But I've definitely, it's a good reflection.
We're all still learning all the time. Good life skills to have for sure. And to finish off, Chris, what would you tell your younger self?
Mine was going to be asked for help a lot more.
I thought you'd go, oh, she took my
I was
thing.
like, oh, she took my.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I was like, definitely ask for help, because with my A level, I was okay at it, but I should have probably asked for more help during the whole process, because it was a very hard course to do. But usually just ask for help and probably be more outgoing and outspoken. So probably going out more with friends, or going to do more sports and stuff like that. Just enjoy it, because you can also use that experience to put in your personal statement if you ever wanted to, because people more care about what you do outside of school than rather what you've done in school.
Yeah, for sure. So just to reiterate what everyone has sort of said there is advice and guidance at colleges and sixth form colleges at your school. There are teachers there, they want to help you. That's why they became teachers. So do seek out that advice, do go to your careers advisors, get started early with things so that when you ask for help, there's someone that's available, because everyone asks around January, which is a deadline for your personal statement. They might not have time to help you, so do get asking with that early. There are quite often people in your colleges that will come like myself, I go into colleges locally, like East Norfolk Sixth Form College, come have a chat with me and I'll help you out with that, and your personal statements and things like that as well. So we want to help you guys, so do please come and ask us as well. And yeah, don't be so harsh on yourself about things. Find your strengths, don't focus on your weaknesses with that, because everyone has strengths. We just need to be kinder to ourselves about those things.